Good evening, Namaskar, Shasika. Now we are discussing the policies of Joe Biden, the President of USA. The withdrawal of the USA Army is a major setback to the USA because the power, the world power USA is decline its power due to the policy of Joe Biden, and the Joe Biden is the weakest president ever. Because if there was treaty with Taliban, which is terrorist organization in Qatar, capital Doha, in 20, then if there is a treaty with Taliban, then what is of that treaty? The treaty must be with the democratic setup, means the government which had chosen by the public votes, but denied it. USA performed a treaty with this terrorist organization, Taliban, who are destroying the world peace and making jihad in the name of Islam and the violent Quranic verses. And this is why these Talibans and the terrorist organization of Pakistan, Jaise Muhammad, Lashkar-e-Toiba, Hizbul Mujahideen, and many Kashmiri militant organizations have decided to Ghazwa Hind, which means the army of Islam will proceed Khorasan, Iran to Khorasan, Afghanistan, Iran part to the India, and will occupy the whole territory of Hindus. And this will be the Ghazwa Hind, and the king of Hindus will be tied with the chains and forcibly go to the Egypt, and not Syria, sorry, Syria. And this is the hyperbole Herculean thought of the Muslim ulema, Muslim world. And then why Joe Biden was so weak president ever of the USA? Because he left the he left the Afghani peoples in wilderness, and this is why the Afghani peoples are not surviving against the Taliban, which is terrorist organization. And you cannot hand over the public and the democratic government who is selected. Its selection was due to the power of votes by the publics. But the Joe Biden declined the democracy in Afghanistan. Then how he can now fight in future in the Islamic country which are trying the democracy, because America itself denied the policy of democracy to destabilize the government of Afghanistan. If the Afghanistan army was fully from the war, this is the fault of US government, because they did not train the Afghani soldiers against Talibani proceedings. And this is why many Talibanis who were present in the Afghanistan-Pakistan border, more than 50,000 Afghani Taliban uh, had taken the asylum in the Pakistan KPK and other parts of the Pakistan, and they were living in the camp of the Jaise Muhammad and Lashkar-e-Toba. And this is the hot point of the Islamic Jihad, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, even the Saudi Arab now away from these absurd activities, because the Shahzada of Earth, Salman bin, now an educated person, he want that there is no power in Hadith and they are not certified, because the Hadith were written after many years, 100 years of death of the Muhammad Sahib. So this is not proven that hadith is correct. And even the some verses of Quran has been be removed by these reformists. If any opposition came, then the Shahzada is capable to to bear it. And this is why the Joe Biden is against the democratic setup of Afghanistan, and he has distorted the democracy of Afghanistan, and he is the war criminal of the killing of the Afghani peoples and the molestation of the Afghani women. And and USA had, has left the all weaponaries, many helicopters, Chinook helicopters, and many war appliances which can be used by the Pakistan also, because the Talibani people, Talibani militants do not know how to operate these helicopters and the weaponaries, excluding some simple weaponaries as light machine gun and rocket launcher etc. But they cannot run the Chinook helicopters and other aircraft. Though the US Army is saying that the Taliban cannot use that weapons because we have changed the technology, and just like these helicopters are now dead and they cannot fly and the weapons cannot be run. But as all of us know, the Pakistani army has many technicians to reform these helicopters, these weaponaries, and rocket launchers to reused by these militants. This is why the Jaish Muhammad chief Azhar Masood was replaced by the Babar some days ago. And this is the strategic war against the India by the Pakistan and the militants. And this is the only jihad, Islamic fundamentalism and Islamic jihad due to the violent verses of Quran which cannot be the kafirs and their women's, and the women's of kafir is the main target for rape, and the wealth of kafirs main target for looting and robbery and killing the kafir is certified in Quran as mal-e ganima. So this is the plunder by Joe Biden. He must be being a president of USA, the Quran also, what Quran says, what its verses stated in past and in the future and in the recent time. So in the last, I would like to say that the US Army has left the weaponaries and other arms. This is for used by the Pakistani army and the trained terrorists by the Pakistani army against India against India to make a Ghazwa Hind. But though we know that this is very impossible because India has a capability to destroy the all thought of Ghazwa Hind within a atom bomb, and India can check the 100 Ghazwa Hind by a atom bomb. So, so Pakistan should remain that Ghazwa Hind was the idea of the 17th century, cannot be run in 21st century. In the last, I would like to say there is no power in the world to eliminate, yeah, to ethnic cleansing of Sanatan Vedic Dharma followers, because the Sanatan Vedic Dharma is the only dharma, only religion. It can save the humanity also, as it has been said in Vedas. Vasudha Kutumbakam means the whole world is our family, whole universe our family. And Sarvate Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarvate Bhavatu Niramaya, and all may be happy and wealthy and healthy. So this is the message of the Sanatan Vedic Dharma, not the message just like as Quran or Islam. Kill the kafirs, rape the and molested the kafirs women, and the education of women is prohibited, and the woman is half part of the gents, and their evidences in the court only just half to the men. So this is injustice to the woman by the Islam due to the Quranic verses. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.